There is no despair in the world. Talk to Hashem for 1 hour every day. Every day of our life, yearn, pray, and make a practical effort to live in Eretz Israel. There's only one necessary path, and that's simplicity. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Rebbe Nachman, and this is the Simple Life Breslov podcast. This episode is in the merit and success of Chava Emunah bat Sarah, Leah Nava bat Chava Emunah, Betzalel Moshe ben Chava Emunah, Melka Rivka bat Chava Emunah, Aliyah Zipporah bat Chava Emunah, bat Yechaya bat Chava Emunah, Yosef Simcha ben Chava Emunah. Also for the protection of all the IDF soldiers and for the protection and safe release of all the hostages. Okay, so I want to ask a question. Do you feel worried? Do you find yourself with anxiety? Are you always thinking about tomorrow or later on or next week? Is it hard for you to live in the moment? Are you always thinking about maybe what if this happens? What if it doesn't go this way? What if, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys have had these thoughts, as well as me and my wife, right? But we like to talk about this particular topic often, which is trusting God, bitachon, and throwing away all the worry and just fully relying on God. Now, we're not saying that we're at like a super high level or anything like that. We're growing and we're working on it every single day, but we have been working hard on trust and making sure that we only rely on Hashem. So if you find yourself in any one of those categories, here's the fix. In Rebbe Nachman's Wisdom, lesson number 2, page 109, he says, it is very good to rely on God completely. As each day begins, I place my every movement and that of my children and dependents in God's hands, asking that everything goes as God would want it. This is very good, and I have no worries. Whether or not things go well, I am completely reliant on God. Whatever He desires, I have already asked that I do only His will. This has been a game changer in my life. This is something that I have been practicing, and I do it in my Hibodadu. So when I'm sitting down, I prefer to do my Hibodadu in the morning. I go daven, I go do chakra in the morning, and then I come either in my room or I go outside or whatever. It's different every day, and I do Hibodadu. I prefer to start my day off like this because, again, just as Rebbe Nachman says, each day I like to place all my movements and my actions into God's hands. So I feel like this is the way that I kind of get that into action. Asking Hashem that, it gets my day into motion. But just as Rebbe Nachman said, this is very good and I have no worries. When I know that everything is in His hands, then I'm good. I don't have to worry. And it's like the more that I spend time with Hashem, the more that I trust Him. Because then that way, if there is something that doesn't go well, I know it is still for my good though. I just don't understand Hashem's ways. It's easier for me to say that because I've been spending a lot of time with God. And I trust Him and I know that He's not going to do anything that's going to hurt me. So then he goes on to say, before each Shabbat or festival, I also place my observance in God's hands. That's next level. Asking that it all be as He would wish. I can then celebrate it without worrying that I am perhaps not doing something properly. I am completely reliant on God. And everything is in His hands. It's beautiful. I want everything that I do to be in His hands. This right here is such a conscience adjustment because in order to have this realization, we have to realize that, God, you're in full control of my life. But we have to do it every single day until it becomes the norm and until we realize that, wow, my day is not in my hands. I don't control what happens here. Hashem, you are in full control and I rely on you completely. And when we do this, my wife and I have personally seen that our day, it goes so amazing, and we're able to accept what happens in the day because we gave it to Him. And we say, God, it's not in my hands anymore. I don't want this day to go how I want it to go. I want it to go according to your beautiful and perfect plan. So I pray today that, God, please help us all to be able to rely on you more, to trust you more, and to know that you have our backs, that you want our good, and that you are good, and everything that you do for us is good. And I pray that God, please bring us closer to you, and so that we can serve you with simplicity, with honesty, and in truth. Love you guys very much. Have a good day.